side effects of listening to the Backslash podcast may include nausea, ruffling, or the urge to draw Gilligan's Island OC. Enjoy.
Welcome back to the newest episode of the Backslash podcast. I am your host, Spenceroni, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Spenny Turbo Toes Magoo.
Guys, I don't know if you guys are ready, but my toes are fast. Don't blink because you might miss them. Sorry, I just ran in my kitchen with my fast toes. Yeah. I'm just imagining me on my tiptoes.
Running really fast, like that little like Hanna-Barbera, like but like supercharged. But speaking of turbo and your absolute speed demon like prowess, I think today one thing we kind of wanted to talk about was the gamer topic that is speedrunning.
Gamer, you say?
Gaming? Huh? Everyone's ears just perked up. I like gaming.
It's like a dog just heard a dog whistle just now. They're like...
They all just perked up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we kind of wanted to dive into speedrunning as a medium, both kind of our personal experiences, toying in the space, but also kind of just how we consume it, what our thoughts are on it in general, and some other third thing that I'm forgetting right now.
Yeah, dude, especially that third thing. Like, guys, stick around for the third thing today. It's gonna be sick.
You're gonna want to stick out all the way. God damn it! You're gonna want to watch all the way to the end of the video for that third thing. And don't forget to smash and pound that fucking like button until there's nothing left of it.
Pound it to dust, gamers. All right, and snort it up because we're talking. We're talking crazy stuff. No, yeah, like speedrunning. We have done a lot of riffs on speedrunning on the show. Like we love calling back to it. It's like a fun topic for us to talk about. So we figured like we might dive into that today. Just our general thoughts. We have both attempted to learn how to speedrun games. Like we're both of the GameCube era. So that's kind of where our interest lies as far as we've both attempted to like learn how to speedrun our childhood games.
Right. Because when you're done with a childhood game and you're like, what other ounce of joy can I squeeze out of this fucking thing from my childhood? One of the last options you are often left with is like, what if I could just beat this as much as quickly as humanly possible? Can I squeeze any childhood joy left out of this thing like you're wringing a fucking towel dry, you know?
Yeah, right, exactly. And like, for me, it was like, let me make this not fun for myself.
Elaborate.
I enjoy speedrunning as a medium to watch rather than to do, personally. I learned during this time. I have respect for people who do it and like are able to, but like, not for me.
Yeah.
My game I tried to speedrun was Super Mario Sunshine, which...
And of you who watch the channel, you might have heard that one already.
So I like, because my whole thing with that game is like I played it so much, like I would play it probably once a year. Just sunk so much time into it and like considered myself pretty decent at the game. So that just kind of led me to, what if I just got so good at it? And was able to just execute on it almost perfectly. Like I learned some things. I was trying to get down like the tech.
Can I interrupt you with a question?
Yeah.
So like, let's say, so you've decided, okay, Super Mario Sunshine, like I want to speedrun this game. Did you, because I know you as a pretty big completionist, right? Like was your first step kind of deciding like what, because if memory serves, you didn't choose any percent. You were like, I want 100% speedrun this, right?
Actually,
or did I get that wrong?
Other way around.
Fuck, fake friend.
How do you even know me to my core like I thought?
No, Steven, we're great friends.
What? Steven? Have you been recording another Let's Play with somebody else? Like, do you just like who's Steven? Is that someone I should know about?
Closes tab of /back. It's with Steven and Spencer.
Hyde's / channel.
Yeah, / Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's so funny. And the theme melody is like blum 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 blum. So which category was it that you decided to land on when you picked Super Mario Sunshine?
So I went for any percent just because I was I looked into like the full completion speedruns, and it is a long time commitment to do so. So I really was going into it like, I'm going to try this out. Not like, oh yeah, I'm going to learn the entire thing. And I'm just kind of like, what would happen if I like tried to learn some tech and like tried to like get down a few missions? Cause it's a very mission based game. You could like, kind of pick up on a complete file and like, oh, let me try for Shine 2 on like Bianco Hills, or, you know.
Right.
Like just like kind of practice that way.
Yes. So another question for you, right? So like compared to some other games that you can play in speedrun, the nature of the Mario 3D platforming games is that the control scheme, right, is like super robust in that like there's a lot of movement options, there's a lot of things you can do. Sunshine is no exception, and one of the things that I've seen from speedrunners, right, is the manipulation of the movesets, both, you know, whether it's these crazy intricate techniques of how to gain speed or height or what have you. You mentioned that you were, you know, running these levels, but like, did you find yourself in a place where you're like, okay, like I need to nail down certain like, what would the term be? I almost want to say like not movement options, but almost like speedrun moves. Like, what did that look like?
I would say movement options. They're integral to being able to play through that. Because you're going for like the fastest time. So you really want to have that down. And just like it's so precise. I think the coolest thing I ever did after like multiple tries was I did a floodless mission where I just like, it was the first one in Bianco Hills. You just like I was able to just run like straight forward with like keeping like my momentum and like using different moves. There's this thing called a jump dive where you like do the motion of like a spin jump, which normally gives you a lot of height.
Yes.
But then like you cancel it out before the spin comes out with like a jump and a dive. So you're like mashing A and B at the same time. So you get like crazy air. And so you like skip that whole section where like the platforms are moving left to right, like in a staircase.
Yes.
So
you get crazy air and you get like crazy pussy, right?
Yeah, and like everyone like wants to fuck me. So everyone just like not all at once, like get off my back. But it's just shit like that. It's like you want to have that down because like floodless level, there's like no room for error. You can't correct your jump. It's not like, oh, let me hover a little bit to fix that.
Right. So you kind of do that. You're learning some of the move sets. You're learning some of the layouts of the levels, right? Do you ever do you go as far as just trying to learn some levels and then kind of saying this isn't for me? Or do you end up going as far as starting to time yourself on levels? Let me ask you that.
I honestly, I never got that far into it. It was very much like, let me see what I can do. Like, how well can I execute this? Like, I shouldn't time myself yet because like I'm still just like getting my bearings and like trying to execute on these things. Like, if I can execute on like these difficult things, awesome. Then I'll go from there. But then, I just kept watching people like run the game, and I'm like, oh man, like the glitches in this look crazy. Like and I don't know if that's like what I want to be good at. Like, no, like again, no shame to anyone who is like good at that stuff because I did attempt it, and I'm just like, I think I want to put my skill sets elsewhere.
Totally. Yeah, I also just want to go back. I like the idea too of you saying like, you know, I'm still learning. Like, I don't want to time just yet. Like, that'd be the equivalent of like your baby just learned how to walk, and then you're like, time to enter him in the 5K. Like,
yeah, right. That's such a good analogy. Like, oh, there's my little runner. He did left foot, right foot. He's going far. He's going far.
The baby keeps crawling, and there's one guy in the audience. He's like, "Is that allowed? That's not allowed."
This is a bipedal race. Bipedal.
We have a strict no crawling policy.
And he's going way slower than everybody. That's cheating. That's cheating.
All the fucking runners are running past, and they're like, "On your left, fuck you!" Like, what
baby.
the fuck? Where's your sportsmanship? Fuck off! Goddamn.
Oh man, yeah, what a piece of shit. So
But right, so you decided, you were like, okay, that's not for me. Like, I don't want to be investing the amount of time that it would take to get super, nice with it, quote unquote, like, quote unquote, who's saying that? Someone has to say something in order to reference it as a quote.
You just said it, bro. To quote my friend Spence.
To quote myself.
Nice with that quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah. But you were like, okay, this really isn't for me. I'd rather, get better at playing the piano or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's exactly where my thought process was. Yeah.
And like you said, though, no shade, though, on people who do be doing that.
Yeah, watching those speedruns, and like speedruns in general, are mesmerizing to watch, and like fun to see people who mastered like some of my favorite games. So
Totally.
respect.
Totally.
Throws up peace sign.
Nice one, gamer. From one gamer to another. Respect.
I like calling upon a singular gamer, like nice one, gamer. It cracks me up. My gamer, you've also tried speedrunning. You want to talk about some of your experiences?
Yeah, totally. So way back in the long ago year of 2015, I was going to college, and I was living at home, and I wasn't living on campus, so I was commuting to this college every day. And, I wasn't the most socially outgoing guy at the time. And I'm still not, let's be real. But, like, I was definitely more introverted than I am now. And so, naturally, as an introvert with a lot of time on his hands, I discovered twitch.tv and started watching a bunch of streams. And I was kind of just like, I could do that. And that looks like fun. So then I started streaming under the alias Minivan. That was my that was my alias for a little while. And then, I had a handful of people that tuned in, and I would mostly just casually play games. But then there was a couple games that I just started getting into and streaming repeatedly, to the point where I remember some of the people who were watching were just like, hey, you're getting like pretty quick at these. Like, have you ever considered, like, you're finishing these games in like, 1 or 2 streams. Have you ever considered running them? And I was like, oh shit, okay, let me actually like look into this. And I was aware of speedrunning. I had watched a couple speedruns at this point, but nothing crazy. So I looked into, the first game that I looked into speedrunning during that time was Luigi's Mansion. And we might have made mention of that on our Let's Play, kind of like you made mention of how we probably mentioned your time speedrunning Sunshine on our Sunshine playthrough. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty familiar with how to get through the game. So then I kind of just started looking up some like little extra like tips on like how to get through certain levels like quicker, all that kind of stuff. It's not nearly control-wise as robust as like a Sunshine, for example, but it was very much oriented around like memorizing which rooms to go to when, and what is the most optimal path of which rooms to hit in what order. And there's already kind of a natural flow to the game in terms of like the path of like which rooms you can unlock, but then kind of just understanding like which ones to jump between with the least amount of wasted time, period. And that was something interesting, and I also didn't want to utilize glitches. So I was raw dogging that.
Oh, fuck, dude. You were not messing around.
So I did that for a while. And then the only other game during that time that I tried, not even like speedrunning per se, but I was trying to get really nice at Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause you were playing with a bunch of friends at the time, too.
That actually came later.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I got really into playing Double Dash, and I started anyone who's played Double Dash knows that it controls a little bit different than most other Mario Kart games in that the way your boosting works has a very different feel where you can kind of do what I think I called it skiing, which is like you can kind of just keep moving your cart back to forth and drifting and charging your turbos really quick to really just bring your fucking speed up and really kind of, set yourself ahead of everybody else. And if you can execute it right and manage your turns and keep tight turns while you're doing these turbo boosts the whole time, you can really, really charge ahead of everybody else. And so I got really into trying to get good at that. And I realized, oh my God, there's a little small community, not small. There's a community surrounding Double Dash and these people that are in crazy good times. Started watching them, started practicing a bunch on my live stream. And then eventually I got to the point where I remember I never recorded anything or submitted anything, but based on one of my time trials, I ranked, and I'm sure I'd already be kicked off the list by now, but back in 2015, I was I think I was number 30 in the world of fastest lap on Yoshi's circuit in Double Dash.
Oh, that's sick. That's a that's a great course to be good at.
Yes, love that course. Played the shit out of that course.
I love that one.
And then kind of like you, I mean, really similar thing where it's I very much enjoyed playing these games, but I found myself going okay, this is great and this is a fun thing to try to, arbitrarily master or get good at, but the amount of dedication in terms of timing myself, getting really serious about it, trying to create any sort of recognition of myself on the internet for speedrunning these games. And I'm not even talking just from because we're not even talking about in regards to streaming, there's a whole other end of it where you're trying to do things like community build surrounding your running and things like that too. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, right? But even besides that, just the sheer time invested into improving your skill on it. It was so much that I was just I don't really know if I want to be investing this time. Kind of like you're saying, I'd rather maybe be doing something else with my time and leave it to the truly dedicated, to be doing that. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, totally. Really difficult thing to execute on, and then all the work surrounding it is I'm gonna need more time in order to do that.
Totally, yeah. I know in the world of stand-up comedy, for example, they'll be the people that you see that are really successful at stand-up comedy are the people who would go to open mics and clubs every single night, and they would just keep grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and failing and getting better and better and better. And it's some people kind of just go casually and do stand-up because they like doing it, but they're only going once a week, twice a week, once a month, something like that, right? They're not truly dedicated to, really mastering the craft, but they can still enjoy it. You know what I mean? And that's, I feel how I kind of viewed myself with playing those games and trying to get better at speedrunning them, if that makes sense.
That's another great analogy. Yeah. Just you can still appreciate the art form. You can see what's good about it, and but doesn't mean you have to be doing it professionally.
Totally, and still taking part in it, which is the coolest part. Is and having fun with it.
I think a cool takeaway was just being generally better at the game than when you first started. Even though you're not running, it's oh, I'm good at moving around in the game still, or you're still really good at Yoshi's circuit.
Totally.
Just oh yeah, there was something there. It's fun. I don't know. It's fun. It feels good to be good at something.
Feels good, man. Yeah, no, totally. I think the other thing I'll add on to that too, which is more recently, the only other game I ever tried to touch in terms of learning speedrunning was Pikmin 1. And that was more recently. That was probably when did we start BACKSLASH?
A little over a year ago, March.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a month or two before I think we started BACKSLASH that I was ballpark approximately is when I started looking at how do people run Pikmin 1? Because I was just playing it obsessively, as I do be doing. And I was like, let me try to get like good at this. Again, not necessarily going for same spirit. Like I want to try it, but I'm not trying to get like crazy masterful of it. And
Yeah.
you know, I looked up some stuff. Eventually, a lot of the runs started getting filled with glitches, and I was like, I'm not really that interested. That was like all the techniques I was finding online were about utilizing glitches, and I was kind of just like, meh. And then, but yeah, but I mean, to your point though, it in terms of it feeling good, I think it proved beneficial for our Let's Play. I think if I hadn't known some of the strats for some of those levels, that it would have been. I think it ended up being a 9-episode series. That easily could have been like a 20-episode series.
It could have, man. Yeah, like we've mentioned it before, but we played that entire session was in one sitting. Like
yeah, that's right.
It was like maybe we maybe played it for a couple hours, and like
Yeah.
you usually beat that game in like a sitting. It's pretty impressive. Like you told me, like, man, I played through Pikmin. Like you,
Yeah.
seeing how fast I could do it this time. Like not
It's
even
so
in a
true.
speedrun sense, but it's just like.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for everything. That is a good choice for a speedrun, I will say. Like, cause
Yes.
that's fun to watch people do, and also like you walked away with that learning some things too. Like you were doing some stuff I had never seen, like just for like oh yeah, this is something people do, like throwing the yellow Pikmin in the water, and then
Yes.
like you being able to save them, and then you're like have access to a part you normally need like the water Pikmin for. I'm like, oh,
Totally.
wow, cool. That's actually pretty neat.
Right. Yeah, and it's weird, right? Because that like kind of borderlines on glitch, but it's like you're not like it's not like you're manipulating the code of the game. Like
It's still a function to like
Yes.
be able to save your yellow Pikmin.
Totally. And I find that interesting, right? And I feel like for any Pikmin nerds out there, I feel like that's kind of a principle that they establish in the fourth one, is that concept of Dandori, where it's just like how efficiently can you operate your squads? And I find that concept really, really interesting, right? It's kind of like, I also have this weird thing where like in my apartment where I'm like, okay, like how efficiently can I like do the dishes and like sweep the floor and like clean the toilet? Like how, and it's like,
Heat up
okay, well,
dinner
like,
and, like,
yeah,
at the same
totally.
time.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like I'll run the dishwasher, and while that's running, I'll be able to start the other thing. So I should do the dishwasher first, because then I can, you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
just trying to get it all done as like efficiently as possible.
That is satisfying. Yeah. Just like, okay, like I've saved so much time by doing so many things all at once. Like this is going while I have this going. Yeah.
Yep. Dishwasher's running, so I can go jerk one off really quick, and then I'll fold the laundry. Oh wait, first I gotta wash my hands, then I'll fold the laundry.
I'm being so efficient. Oh.
Right. If I run the washer and dryer first, I'll be twice as excited, which should cut my time in half of the jerking off.
Jerk off speedruns.
Yeah. Gooning speedrun any %.
I'm in the pornless category.
I'm in the handless category. What the fuck?
Handless.
What the fuck does that even mean?
How do you what?
But yeah, no, I think though in summary that would be my experience with the speedrunning. That kind of brings up, we're talking about different categories. Kind of just a general question for you, which is like, what are your thoughts on glitch versus glitchless speedruns? I know it's kind of a vague open question, but I kind of just want to get a sense of what your thoughts are.
Yeah. I think I have a few answers for it because I like both in different cases.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll say this about glitch runs, like ones where they're doing it like, and it's like, oh, they like broke the code like in the first level of Super Mario World and like beat the game, like they got the end screen. I'm like, cool, but like not something I would ever like want to try and execute or like super like fun to watch. It's just like I watched that once and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Someone figured that out. Like, wow.
Right.
So
Right.
But cool in that regard. But I kind of am with you on like the glitchless, like just kind of playing through the game just as quickly as possible without manipulating the code.
Right.
I dig that.
Yes.
Sunshine was a weird exception because like, well, for me is like any percent seems like less of a time commitment. Like if I can get down these glitches, that might be cool. Like
Yes.
it might be fun to try and get that. But
Right.
because you were still mostly playing the game, you were just like the glitches were to skip large portions of missions like per level and like try and get to that ending boss fight. You're still playing the game.
Totally. I feel like I have a comparison. You gotta walk with me here, though. This one might be a little bit of a stretch.
All right.
That would be like, okay, like, so say someone's like, okay, I've set the world record for fastest Rubik's Cube solve, right? And there's one guy who, you know, does it with his hands and he goes like, and he solves it in 5 seconds or whatever the fuck, right? But then there's like one guy who's like, I can solve this Rubik's Cube in 1 second. And through some crazy mathematical calculations and physics, he just takes it and he slams it on the ground and it shatters into a bunch of pieces and bounces off the walls and reassembles into a completed Rubik's Cube. Like, it's like, cool. You clearly put a lot of time and energy into figuring that out. And that's incredibly impressive. But it's not the same thing as like solving it the way that the puzzle is meant to be solved.
Yeah, dude, I really like that analogy actually, because it's yeah. I mean, that's pretty much 1-to-1 as far as I'm concerned. Like, yeah, you're like scrambling it and unscrambling it to get like the same outcome, but it's not like you're playing the game. You're not. You're no longer playing. Yeah, adhering to any of the rules. Or like, like games are coded
You're breaking
and meant
the
to
game.
be. Yeah, you're breaking it. You know, games are supposed to be fun. And like you're sometimes they make me angry. No, I'm kidding. You know, like, yeah, they're like coded and made to be fun, and like you still want to. I still want to watch the game be played, like how it's supposed to be. But
totally.
yeah, but cool though. Cool, you figured it out.
Exactly. I think I would agree with that. Completely. Yeah, there's a huge difference between breaking the game to get an end screen versus, you know, being strategic and playing through. I got a burp.
Nice one, bro.
Thanks. That was my burp any percent.
Whoa, you got that through that so fast. Have you been practicing?
I've been training every day. Are there any particular speedrunners out there that you enjoy watching? And actually, let me preface that with another question. So maybe this is a two-parter. I think the first question is like, yeah, what truly is the appeal of watching a speedrunner? Because you mentioned earlier, you were like, oh, it's cool to watch someone like play really fast through a game I grew up with. But like breaking that down, not even from like a psychology perspective, but like what really is like enjoyable about that? I remember when I was doing that streaming and I was living at home, my dad would come in after a stream, or I'd tell him, hey, I'm streaming, da-da-da. And he was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, like I play a game and these people watch. And he was just like, people watch you play a game? And I was like, yeah. And he was just like, why would they do that? I was like, I guess because I'm like kind of somewhat entertaining to them. And he's like, why would they not just play the game themselves? So kind of with that in mind, like that kind of does beg the question, like, what is the appeal of watching a speedrunner? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I personally, like, I do only care to watch games that I know how it feels to play them. So I'm prefacing it with that because I just think it's cool to watch people just be really good at a game, period. But then also like if I know like, oh yeah, that is a really difficult game, I'm like, and seeing people do it like, oh, just they're making it look so easy. Like I'm trying to think of particular speedrunners. I might be wrong about this. We can definitely like double check, but Average Trey was like the person I was watching.
Okay.
Plays Sunshine, and over the summer I was texting you. He was playing like a ROM hack of Sunshine. That was like, you know, like
Kaizo one.
Yeah, Kaizo. Yeah, like the really hard Mario hacks.
Yes.
That was interesting, just like to see the fucked up levels this game dev made, like using like Sunshine assets, and like seeing him like practice. He was like pretty much practicing it. Like he's like he's really good at regular like vanilla Sunshine. And then see him like just like attempt this and like try over and over like his process of it. I'm like, this is interesting. Yeah. So I guess that's its own thing, huh? Like I guess that's part of the appeal of watching a streamer.
Right. Yeah, and watching them kind of be masterful of this thing. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like now that we're even talking about it out loud, like it's this probably the same thing for people who watch professional sports, right? Like, oh, I've played baseball. I love playing baseball. Oh, I've played football. I really love playing football. There's probably something really satisfying of just watching someone do it to such a high level, right? And going
Yeah.
like watching, like you said, I like the word you used, effortlessly, right? Like it's you're watching this person and you're like, wow, like in my wildest dreams could I hit a baseball that far? Yet this guy has been putting in the hours and the years and you know, he smacks the ball across the park, no fucking problem. I imagine the feeling is somewhat similar.
Yeah, I would imagine too. Yeah, just like anything, any skill that you're working towards, or and like know how difficult it is. Yeah, man, I agree. That's. I think you're on point, brother.
Do you think there's any like? Do you think there's any like air traffic controllers or like plumbers out there who like watch someone like do it at like such an efficient degree? They're like, God damn, you got to see fucking Tony Plums on YouTube.
Tony Plums.
he fixed that sink in 2 minutes flat. That was fucking. He didn't even use a snake drain.
He got that gunk right out. Oh my god, that was insane. Oh my, like I've never seen plumbing done to such a high level of skill before. He got the shit out of my toilet in like 2 minutes flat. So yeah, but are there any speedrunners that you like to follow?
Yeah, you know, not in recent years, I will be honest. But there was this one speedrunner who I watched who played and to your point earlier, a game that I used to play all the time in my childhood, so like I know how it feels and all that good stuff. He used to play SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. I want to say that his name was it Sketch? I'm just googling it as we're talking. Oh, sorry, got it. Okay. There was a speedrunner named Shift, not Sketch.
Oh, okay.
And he would do Battle for Bikini Bottom speedruns. And I remember watching those and being blown away, one, by his standard gameplay and how efficient he was. But then there were random glitches that he would manipulate to do levels more efficiently. And like you're saying, it's not like he was completely breaking the game, but he would find these ways to traverse levels or defeat challenges or bosses much quicker than I could only ever imagine trying to do on my own with not knowing these techniques. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like we were on a similar wavelength with, glitch versus glitchless in that regard. Yeah, just like being able to play still. I totally get that.
Totally, yeah. I think it's really solid. So I would say that's I think that would be my assessment of the only speedrunner I've watched in recent years. But honestly, it's been a handful of years since I've watched him. I don't even know if he's still doing it.
Oh, yeah, dude, fair. Yeah, I'm not really like a part of it, like keeping up with like speedrunners and all that. Just the idea of it we find cool. I guess, in a nutshell.
And there you go, gamers. That's our thoughts on speedrunning.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a fun talking point. I enjoy speedrunning. We continue to bring it up, so I figured, why don't we talk about it on the podcast?
I love it, dude. I love it. Almost as much as I love the newest video that you dropped on your YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, you mean the goofy one?
That one, and you did another video as well. But yeah, I figure, while we got this platform, we got some people listening in case you're, an avid // viewer and you're not aware. The two of us also have solo channels in which we respectively each upload different types of content. So just kind of wanted to plug that out there and have us talk for a few minutes about some content we've put out so that hopefully, we can get a couple people who might be digging / to check out the other stuff you and I have been doing.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all. So I put out a cover on my channel. I call it Spencer M, just plain and simple. I did a Beatles cover of the song Because, one I've been wanting to cover for a while. I had always kind of envisioned doing the thing I see people do online where you have multiple instruments, like multiple parts, like record them and like put out a video of it. And I'm like, as I was listening to that song, like back in high school, I was just like, that'd be cool to do that song. Like I love the harmonies on it. It's a really beautiful song.
Right.
And yeah, I just I've been trying to act more on like any like on a whim, I guess. It's like, do I feel like doing this? I'm gonna make it. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, why not? So
Carpe diem, baby.
Carpe diem. So I decided to do it, and I'm happy with how it turned out. Spence here, he helped me mix and master it. Thank you. Very nice job.
Yes.
Yeah, I basically, I don't know, I just recorded all the parts. I started with like the piano, you know. I didn't have to worry about programming any drums. I do not have a drum kit, nor do I play drums, but I would love to. But yeah, that song is just
your neighbors would not.
No. They would not like that. But yeah, I started with the instruments and recorded all the vocals, and then I mean that's pretty much it. And then I did a little edity dum and put it out. And yeah.
Hell yeah. Amazing. Yeah. No, it was really, really killer cover. Everyone definitely go check it out. You mentioned that I helped you with the mixing and mastering, and I'll say on that too, you know, I did, you know, tweak some stuff here and there, but you did a fantastic job just recording all the raw tracks, period. That anything that I really helped out with was just, you know, whatever, to take it to that last like 4%, like your raw vocals and everything already sounded fantastic, man. Like you really did a bang up job with that, and you're a great vocalist and all that jazz and all that stuff of me sucking on your taint and shit. But
thanks, bro. No, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Of course. And it was really cool too, because, you know, you recorded all the parts and you recorded them with the videos. And the other dope part too is, you know, I know you have prior to Backslash, obviously you've toyed around with like the video editing and stuff, and you've been doing a lot of cool shit. But I think ever since Backslash too, so like you've really been kind of diving into like Adobe Premiere and stuff. You know, we both edit episodes of Backslash respectively, and it's been really cool to see your editing chops really, really like growing and improving, and the fact that you were able to create that really cool visual with all of like the different versions of yourself in one scene, like it looked really awesome. And I just want to tip my hat to you that I think you also nailed the editing of that video.
Oh, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I since we started this channel, something I didn't realize about myself is like I love to do video editing. I like it's just like that's like a skill in itself too.
Yes.
And you've taught me a lot about it as we've been doing this channel here. You know, you're very well versed in Premiere.
Yes, I'm like your karate kid teacher. I'm like keyframe on, keyframe off.
Keyframe.
Ease in, ease out.
Wow. Yeah. Like whenever like I'm doing that stuff, like your voice like in reverb like plays in my head like every time.
No, but yeah, you know, I'm helping you a little bit with it. Yeah, but you've been fucking absolutely just on your own, absolutely destroying.
Thank you, man.
So I'm very, I just want to pay respects there as well. You absolutely crushed that shit.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and then you put out another video recently too, unless you weren't wrapped up with the Beatles.
I'm wrapped up with the Beatles. That's all I want to say about that project. Go check it out if you like.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Oh yeah, the like button. Yeah, speaking of on a whim though, I made Goofy sings Jack Harlow. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I like.
Was it nowhere? Did you just wake up one day and you're like that?
Yeah. No, I was like, I think I was on the way to my apartment, like from like a trip home, and I was like, I don't like no whips and you can tie me down, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll make that. Why not? That's pretty much like what my channel has been for like, well, I don't upload that much. Like I made the Carl Weezer Sings Redbone like 7 years ago, and like I've done similar things like Carl Weezer covers, yeah. Like, so I'm like, why not just like throw out another cartoon character sings a thing that would be
dude.
funny for them to be singing. So I was just like, Carpe Diem, Goofy sings Jack Harlow.
I love it, man. I love it. My favorite part in that one that you did was like, I don't remember the lyrics because I don't know the song that well, but it was like, something about your boy, got something on your boy. And like you squeezing this like really fast, like goofy laugh in there. That's like, if you don't listen for it, you might even miss it. But if you listen for it, you hear this really quick, goofy laugh like in between two lines, and it's fucking really funny and really well done.
Thanks, man. He normally says come on. So I did a
okay. That shit rocks.
Oh, glad you liked it. Yeah, feel free to check that out. I made that in like a day or two. It was just like they're here, but on the internet, go.
And everybody, you can check out your boy and check out those dope videos at youtube.com/@itsSpencerM.
Oh, yes. Dude, I recently learned that like that's how you find a channel better if you do the like in the search bar. Like I'm like, yeah, my I do a gaming channel, it's called BACKSLASH, and they're like, I can't find it. I'm like, wait, we are /. Try that.
Totally.
But yes, yeah. Thanks for the plug, man.
Of course.
But I want to say, you put out a really fantastic video on your channel. Is it, I don't know the though. Fake fan.
At Spenceroni and Cheese.
Yes, at Spenceroni and Cheese. On a really interesting topic that like I never really see people talk about. Yeah, about the NES sound chip. Do you want to kind of dive into that?
Yeah. I did a video pretty recently. At the time of recording this, and probably loosely when it drops, I think it'll have been out for like maybe 2 weeks or so. And it's this video about actually you make a cameo in the beginning of it. But it's this whole video about the story of the development of the NES, and a lot of people have covered that and talked about it, but I was doing a lot of research into the NES's sound chip because I'm obviously just very interested in one, music as a whole, but sound design and audio engineering in general. And what started as me kind of doing a deep dive into like, okay, like what gives like the NES's triangle bass sound like its distinct tone, because it doesn't sound like every other triangle synthesizer that I've heard out there. Like it sounds different. So I'm like kind of looking through and trying to do research on the hardware. Lo and behold, here I'll put a time code I guess on the screen right now, because I guess I'll spoil the video. So if you don't want spoilers to the video, the card is up right now, and also a time code to skip forward in case you don't want spoilers. But I end up doing this research, and I end up finding out that the sound chip, which is called the Rico 2A03, is actually a stolen design of a CPU chip from a company called Moss, and it's called the 6502 chip. And the crazy thing is that the crazy thing is that Nintendo kind of did a little bit of sketchy stuff to kind of manipulate their way into using that chip without having to pay any licensing fees for this thing. So they did something kind of sketchy so that they could manufacture it for a cheap cost. So I'll leave it at that. But if you want more details, I made a whole video about that, and I try to do my goofy thing where even though there's a lot of dense information in there, I try to keep little gags or little like not sketches, I don't know, the cutaway gags, and I try to keep it interesting and lighthearted and fun throughout the whole thing. But yeah, that was my most recent video. Go check it out.
Guys, it's awesome. Seriously, like there's so much in there that I did not know, and it is just a really interesting story too. And it's cool like to hear you talk about it on here, where like you fully intended to just be like, I want to talk about the sound chip in general, and then it became like, oh, there's some weird stuff going on here. And then that became the video.
Totally. And I rewrote that thing like 4 different times. A lesson I've learned from. I've learned, it took me way too long to put out that video, but one thing I didn't even cover in the video that I want to share as well is like I spent a really long time researching just the aspect of like what Nintendo did to get around paying licensing fees for this thing, and like I'm like balls deep on like blogs and I'm balls deep on like message boards, and like it was a really small group of people talking about this really niche thing, and I'm like, how the fuck do more people not know about this, just for how massive and influential Nintendo is as a company, and for how influential and massive that product was. I just found it interesting.
Everyone knows those sounds, like, but like, you know, beyond people who play those games, like people know the Mario theme. Like it's like that's using that hardware. Yeah, I just think really interesting.
But yeah, go check out the video. It's on my YouTube channel, Spenceroni and Cheese.
And he's got some other great videos on there too. Dude, you put out some professional looking videos. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's all I'm trying to get across here, all right?
All I'm trying to say.
Listen, go watch the fucking NES one, because YouTube absolutely fucked me on impressions.
Why you gotta do that to my boy, YouTube? Come on.
No, I sound entitled, but I was just shocked because my other videos did pretty well, and that one did not. But go watch it. So go watch it.
All right, dude. Is that? We got our mucus. Wait, hold on. I was gonna say our mucus recommendation of the week. Let's pause there and just like acknowledge I was gonna do that. But is there any more you wanted to say on that, or do you want to?
I think I'm good, bruh.
Okay. What do you got for this week for your track recommendation?
My music recommendation of the week. I've got one that you actually showed me.
Oh, no way.
Yes, that I was not aware of until you shared it with me, and I'm pulling up the title, which is from the Sonic Mania soundtrack. We haven't done any game soundtrack recommendations yet, I don't think.
No, we haven't.
And this is Rouge's Gallery, Mirage Saloon Zone.
Yeah.
Act 2 by T. Lopes. I hope I'm saying that right. Lopes?
I think Lopes. I'm not sure. T. Lopez?
Yeah.
But yeah, killer one there, dude.
Banger track. Really cool vibe, really great groove. It's a really fun one to listen to while you're driving in your car, and it's got that nice I guess it would be emulating more of that Sega Genesis sound chip.
Yeah, with like with some modern sounding samples in there too, kind of mixed in.
It's a vibey track. Would recommend. You turn?
Yeah, I am gonna recommend people check out the song "I'm Tight" by Lewis Cole. It's 7 minutes long, guys. I swear it's worth it.
I don't have that kind of time. I'm trying to speed run all my music listening.
Can I get through it in 2 minutes?
Listens at 2x speed.
Yeah. Funky track, awesome bass lines throughout. Really cool artist. I could recommend a few songs by him, but I'll leave it at that one. Basically, the main message of that is like
he's really loose, right?
He's like super loose, and yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, just be weird and own it. Basically, is like which I fuck with. Yeah, and it's got a fun music video too. I might have showed you that. It's
yes, they're doing the funky dances, right?
Yeah, they all have like a name. It's pretty silly, but like, you know, I bumped that one in the car too, and like, yeah, it's good.
Hell yeah, guys! Let us know in the comments what your music recommendations for the week is, and we'd be happy to check it out.
Hell yeah, we would love to hear that from you guys. That'd be great.
Absolutely. What do you say, brother? You say we wrap up this episode? What are you feeling?
I say we wrap it up. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode.
About speed running.
Running.
Thank you guys, like he said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure, if you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Stay posted on all of our future episodes. And once again, we thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.
See you next time. Nice.
Very sweet.